He had not spoken to another human being in 7 days. Stay until the end, or the water finally stills. The question that echoed through his mind was how the absence of sound would reshape his inner landscape. Would it bring clarity or chaos? The sun was setting over the vast, silent landscape, casting a golden glow over the barren hills. Every step he took, every move he made, seemed to reverberate through his very being, as if the silence had made him more aware of his own presence. The air was crisp and cool, filled with the scent of pine and damp earth. As he walked, the trees seemed to close in around him, their branches tangling above his head like skeletal fingers. The rustle of leaves and snapping of twigs underfoot served as a reminder that even in silence, the world is never truly still. What happened next changed everything he thought he knew about himself. The forest grew denser, the path narrowing to a thin thread that wound its way through the trees. He felt a sense of disorientation, as if the silence had disrupted his internal compass. Every sound, no matter how small, took on a new significance. The call of a bird, the babble of a brook, the creak of a tree branch, all of these became amplified in the stillness. He began to notice the rhythms of his own body, the beat of his heart, the rise and fall of his chest as he breathed. The silence was like a mirror, reflecting back to him all the hidden patterns and cadences of his own being. The silence that followed was unlike any he had ever heard. It was as if the world had been holding its breath, waiting for him to uncover some hidden truth. And then, there was the darkness. It felt like a shroud, enveloping him in an inky blackness that seemed to have a texture all its own. He felt his way through the darkness, his hands outstretched like a blind man. The world was reduced to a single point, a tiny sphere of awareness that contained only himself. In this darkness, he found a strange kind of freedom. The absence of light seemed to liberate him from the constraints of the physical world, allowing him to explore the inner recesses of his own mind. What lay at the heart of this silence, he wondered? Was it a void, an emptiness that echoed with the whispers of his own fears and doubts? Or was it a doorway, a threshold that led to a new world of understanding and insight? The darkness was a crucible, a testing ground where the metal of his soul was purified and refined. He felt himself being stripped bare, his defenses and pretensions peeled away like the layers of an onion. And yet, in this vulnerability, he found a sense of strength, a sense of resilience that he had never known before. The silence was a teacher, a guide that led him through the labyrinthine corridors of his own heart. It showed him the hidden chambers, the secret rooms that lay hidden behind the facade of his everyday self. It revealed to him the depths of his own suffering, the wounds that he had carried with him for so long. But it also showed him the depths of his own compassion, the boundless wellsprings of love and kindness that lay within him. As the days passed, the silence began to take on a new quality. It was no longer just the absence of sound, but a presence in its own right. It was a living, breathing entity that pulsed with its own rhythm and energy. He felt himself becoming attuned to this rhythm, his own heartbeat slowing to match the beat of the silence. He was no longer just an observer, a witness to the world around him. He was a participant, a co-creator in the grand symphony of existence. The silence had become a part of him, a thread that was woven into the very fabric of his being. And when he finally emerged from this period of solitude, he was changed. He was no longer the same person who had entered the silence 7 days before. He was quieter, more reflective, more at peace. The world seemed brighter, more vivid, as if the silence had cleansed his senses and restored his perception. He knew that he would carry this silence with him, a reminder of the depths that lay within him, and the wisdom that could be found in the stillness. The question that had haunted him for so long was finally answered.